away. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. Hey, I just thought I'd do this live because I'm pulling together some stuff, and obviously it's super topical. Lots of stuff going on in the world, and I thought I'd make a little bit of a case for prepping. If you're a prepper, you don't even need this, but we are gonna, if you do stick around, I am gonna announce a little bit of a giveaway here. So, hey, you know what? It's hurricane season. It's not even really hurricane season. There are just a bunch of hurricanes. And they're wiping out a bunch of stuff, man. And that kind of inspired me to talk to you a little bit about prepping. And kind of the reality of just being a little bit prepared, right? You may not be a prepper and have all these foodstuffs and everything, but you know what you can do is just a little preparation. Any preparation is better than no preparation. I mean, what kills me is that people like live in California on the fault lines and they don't have a bug out bag or even like bottled water, or people live on the coast and don't have, you know, an MRE or freeze-dried food, whatever it may be. You know, if you live in the Midwest, we have fault lines here, we have crazy weather, tornadoes, all sorts of stuff. Listen, I'm not judging you, I'm just saying that, you know, the Boy Scout motto is be prepared, and that's for a reason. Now listen, the other reality is you can never be fully prepared. There are people down there in Houston, and there are people on the East Coast right now who probably have done a lot of preparation, but you know, you just can't plan for every contingency. So I'm not saying that you need to do that either, but just a little bit of something to take care of things. Now, listen, my issue with it is, even talking to someone down there today, was that, oh, we're gonna wait, you know, we've got plenty of time, we'll still roll out, you know, before the storm. Well, here, listen, once the announcement is made, once people are in the know, you are behind the curve, right? Go to the grocery store or whatever, and things are going to be gone. Go to the gas station, gas is going to be gone. Not to mention hotel rooms and things like that. Even where you're going, you know, I know some people in the Carolinas are heading to like Greenville. You know what? You may have your hotel room, but the stores may not have anything by that point. The gas stations might not have any gas. Listen, once you know, everyone else knows. And so if you know and think you're going to buy yourself another day of delay time, I think that's just, it can be kind of bad planning, right? But enough of that. Listen, I'm just saying, you know, don't count on someone else to bail you out of a situation. I'm not saying it's fair, and weather certainly isn't fair. Natural disaster, riots, I don't even know what it might be. You know, an asteroid hitting your house, whatever it might be. Listen, the more you do for yourself, the more you can count on, right? Don't count on someone else being there. You know, do what you can for yourself, because it's just going to make it easier. It's going to put you in a position where you're not texting for your life, okay? Right, from the roof of your house because everything's flooded and no one knows where you're at. So that's my soapbox. I'm going to get off it. So basically what I wanted to do today is actually share with you an idea of just doing kind of, you know, not the bare minimum bug out bag per se, but just a little bit, just kind of the core stuff, super cheap, super easy, will last for a super long time, and that if you have to roll out of your house to higher ground, like the people on the East Coast right now, this is just something you can take, or, you know, the flash floods. The good example there is that people knew that there was weather coming, but, you know, when the water starts rising like a foot an hour, I can't even see my screen here. Oh, nobody has too much money and time, brother. And I certainly don't have it. I don't have too much money and time, but I appreciate the fact that you think I do. But stick around, you're the only one on the webcast at the moment. So listen, hey, you know, flash floods, I don't know if you've ever seen them. You know, in the Southwest, they're crazy because they literally are like a mountain of water flowing. It's not what I thought, where the water is just rising really quickly. Listen, when a flash flood hits, you literally might be able to get something in your hands and then head to the second floor. I mean, it's just that quick. So listen, let's get into it. I want to share with you how to put together a really quick, down and dirty bug out bag, essentially a little survival emergency prep kit, and then we're gonna give it away. Okay, so stay tuned for the end. I'll tell you how to get this little bad boy. But for some of the things that I think are kind of key is you're gonna need some sort of container, preferably a backpack. Listen, I have this Bago bag. I did a review on this. I think it's phenomenal. I was gonna hold on to it myself. Just the materials and the construction on this are fantastic. If you're interested in this, check out the review. But look, it all folds up into this, right? And it's tiny, and I've never used it, and I really like the fact that it folds up into like a little pouch. But it's a really good messenger, or it's a really good backpack. Like, this material is really awesome. And what I love about this is a lot of these little kind of foldable backpacks are like tent material. They're really, really thin nylon. This is not this case. But what I also love about this is it's small, it's portable, and it's in a backpack form, man. If you're trying to climb into a canoe with like a briefcase or a duffel bag, that can be harder. Just a small little backpack like this is all you need. This is gonna be the key to our bug out bag. Get whatever you want, an old school bag. I mean, it doesn't even matter, right? Maybe your kids have an old book bag they don't use. So that's gonna be the first thing. Now, you know, food, clothing, shelter, those are all kind of the key elements here. So let me talk about food first, right? You can get something like these, a meal. This is an MRE. I bought this from the Epicenter. Done a review on these. This is shredded beef and barbecue sauce. And if you're not familiar with these, I'm going to do some reviews on them, but there are a lot of reviews out there. This one is repackaged in a clear plastic bag because it doesn't have the MRE heater. That's the only difference with this one. So you can pick this up. You don't need to heat up MREs to eat them. They are essentially like canned, ready-to-eat food. No prep, no heat, no water needed, unless you want to make like the coffee or the juice. But in it, you have a full-on meal, a high-calorie meal on top of that. This is a great thing because it's probably the most versatile, but it's also the heaviest and largest thing. But let me tell you, if you're stuck on the roof of your house, in your car on the side of the road, stuck in a traffic jam, or if it's been 24 or 40 hours since you've eaten, this is your best friend. A meal like this is a full-on meal, and they taste good. I love them. I actually eat these bad boys. This one has crackers, the shredded beef. It has some sides in there, the whole 9 yards, right? So this is great. Now, on top of that, if you can heat up your meal, that's even better. Now I said this one doesn't come with MRE heaters because I have them separate and I don't even need these, but this is an MRE heater and you just add some water. I don't know if it's magnesium or something, but there's some sort of chemical in there that gets really hot and you can put the unopened bags of food in here and heat them up. This isn't great just for these types of meals, but you know, if you need to kind of process some water, if you're in a cold climate, you've got someone hypothermic, yeah, you wouldn't put this up against their body, but it's a way to heat something up so that you could, you know, heat up a water bottle or something like that and put it in a backpack with, or a sleeping bag with them. These are great. So I'm including a MRE heater with the MRE as well. You're getting this MRE. So as you see it here, this is what you're getting, all right? That's great. That is, if I could be on the road, on the run with an MRE or with food, the MREs are just my favorite, right? But I get it. You know what? These have expiration dates. They're shelf stable for a while, but freeze-dried lasts longer. So things like this, the Wise Company, you know, makes these. You can get these in a tub. A friend of mine out in California has just a tub. Hopefully you'll never need them, but you know, you go camping, you can use these things too. They're pretty tasty. This one is savory stroganoff. Right, basically all you have to do with this is add like boiling water to it. Bring 4 cups of water to a boil and add it and turn off the heat and let it sit for 15 minutes. Now, that requires a little prep. It also requires you to have access to water, which is maybe something you don't have. Access to water, and you gotta heat it up, and then you can make this. But this little packet, which is much smaller than this MRE here, can feed like 4 people. There's a lot of food in freeze-dried. It's light, it's really compact, it's very stable on the shelf for a really long time, but they are very easy to make, but you do need to be kind of hunkered down in a place where you can kind of do a little meal prep, but they're great for feeding multiple people, right? So this is the Wise Company freeze-dried food. What is a Mountain House? You know, there's tons. If you're into camping, you've seen these before. I've used them a ton of time, but these things, you can buy a bunch of these, put them on the shelf for years, and you don't have to worry about it. Put one in your backpack. The other thing I want to throw out there too are these types of things. Basically, like Nutribars, like from Firefly, man, you know, whatever they called it, those things. This one's Daytrex and this one's from Millennium. I showed you, I've done reviews on both of these. They are just, they taste like butter biscuits, you know, like butter cookies or something. But they're just about having calories and protein and energy in the smallest, most compact form you can have. These taste very much alike, but this one is raspberry and has like a raspberry flavor. It's almost the exact same thing as this Daytrex. But both of these can keep you alive, can stave off hunger, keep you have high energy. You know, if you watch shows like Dual Survival where you're out in the middle of nowhere or something like that, you know, those guys after 48 hours or 72 hours in the wilderness would kill for one of these because it's just packed with calories and they last forever, right? So I'm gonna throw in this unopened box of Daytrex here, and the thing about this bad boy is that this can feed a bunch of people. It doesn't really look like it, but they're all individually packaged. And then this granola size bar actually has a ton calories and energy in it too. You can get a whole package of this, and it's a little better. You know, there's some taste, you know, flavor with it, which is kind of cool. But these are great. These are great. You're gonna want to. If I just asked you to eat this sucker, I did a review on it. You'd be like, whoa, give me a granola bar. But you know, when you're hungry, this is gonna taste like $1 million. What's happening, Peach? You asked for live. I'm giving you live, brother. All right. The other thing I want to throw out there too are these things. I did a review on this. I ordered a case of Ample. Perfect for kind of these domestic emergency situations. Hi, guys. You know, this is kind of like the Soylent, but shelf stable, but it's a powdered meal in a bottle. So 400 calories, you just add water, shake it up, you drink it. It's like a full-on meal. Now, the benefit of these, you know, one, because they're shelf stable and you can kind of carry them around, but it's also a container, right? Some of these other things don't really have really good containers. It's a plastic water bottle. You can fill it up with water, take it on the road. These things can be really helpful. So I'm going to send you 2 of these Ample meal replacements. Now, let's get to water, right? I've mentioned water. This is a problem. So a couple things I want to throw out here is they do make, listen, the folks in Houston sitting on the roof surrounded by water can't drink that water. That water is nasty. It's like seawater, sewage, the whole 9 yards. Here are portable emergency drinking water pouches. There's not a ton of water in each of these, right? 4 1/4 fluid ounces in each. But to give yourself, to stave off that thirst, that parched mouth that you might have, these are fantastic. You can buy a whole case of these. They're almost better than bottled water, you know, in some ways, because they're meant to be preserved. They last forever. These, again, are from Datrix, but a number of companies make them. I think you get them from Epicenter, too. I don't remember where I got these. I'll put a link to them, but I think I just got these on Amazon. But, you know, not only that, but I use them on, like, day hikes, too. If you know, I'll take a bottled water or something like that. But when I've been in the desert, you drink up your water fast, and I have busted out the emergency water sometimes just to give myself a nice gulp of water. So these are pretty good because there is such an irony of being in an emergency situation that's caused by water and not being able to drink any of that water. So this is really fantastic. Now, the other thing that you might need to do is actually process your water. That is not easy, especially in an emergency situation. I'm going to send you a package of these 10 aqua tabs. I don't know if they're chlorine. Here's the instructions on how to use them. You put a tablet with a certain amount of water, let it sit, dissolve. It's going to process the water kind of like iodine or chlorine or bleach, those types of things. It's going to make water drinkable. So here, these are going to be for you too. And now the last thing is, what do I put the water in? Yes, Peach, it is. It is, buddy. What do is you got to put the water in something. This is a water. I have not reviewed this yet. I have been meaning to. This one's by NASCO World Pack. I've ordered a couple of brands of these things. This is called a water bag. I know it just looks like a glorified long, you know, Ziploc bag, but it's actually really heavy plastic, and it's got a expandable bottom. I will show you these in person. And you fill this sucker with water, and then it has, you know, a metal wire going across the top, so you can roll it, wrap it, bend these over. You know, so it's like a tiny collapsible canteen that's just no bigger than a piece of plastic, right? And so these are great for having in a backpack, and so you can carry water, process water with like these things like the aqua tabs. This could be a huge lifesaver, right? So even a couple of these might be really nice, but I'm going to include one of these as well in the giveaway. Now, so we talked about water sterilization. Well, what else can you use to sterilize water? The answer is fire. You can use heat and those types of things. So let me show you what we're going to do on that front here. I'm going to do a couple of things. First of all, I have a little waterproof canister here. You've seen this. I actually reviewed it. I put some of the Strike Anywhere matches in here. Those diamond Strike Anywhere matches, and this is going to be nice for lighting a fire if you need to, right? So this is going to be there. You know, not only just processing water, processing food, cooking food, those types of things, but keeping yourself, you know, warm at night. The other thing I'm going to throw in here too is one of these Wetfire tablets. You just open this up. It's a little piece of like fuel. You light it up. They burn even when wet or submerged, you know, soaked with water. You take it out. You light it on fire. They light up right away. They burn like a candle, so you can, you know, get kindling going, a fire going, whatever you might need to do, maybe even cook over it a little bit. So you're gonna get, I'm gonna include that. The other thing here is that I'm gonna include this Paracord bracelet, and this is pretty awesome because it kind of kills a few birds with one stone. Obviously, you get a bunch of paracord with it, but then it obviously goes around your wrist, and there's a buckle. But the buckle has a ferro rod in this end and a scraper on this end, so you can actually use it to create a spark. So if you don't have matches, lighter, or something like that, you do have spark capability with this, which could be really important. The other thing, which I think is really underrated, is on this side there's a whistle. Maybe not the best whistle in the world, but it's a whistle. If you're on the top of a roof with no cell phone signal, no CB, and you've got guys out there with boats cruising around looking for people to help, they can't hear you over their motor, even if they're trying to keep an ear out, and you're gonna lose your voice in a few minutes by screaming. So a whistle is super, super helpful to signal for help here. So you're gonna get this. There's also a compass on it. I didn't even think that was really necessary in a kind of a minimalist bug out bag, but it's on there too, so that's pretty cool. Now, we also talked about fire, water, shelter, and so I want to answer a little bit of a shelter clothing food shelter with the Mylar blanket. First of all, use the Mylar blanket for wrapping yourself up, protection from the elements, whatever it might be. Someone's injured, that can help. You can also sew, this includes a couple of Mylar blankets in it. You can sew these things up, suspend them with cordage as a tent or a shelter like that. You can use them for signaling. They're really great, and they're super small, so I really love Mylar blankets, and they work really well, and especially in snow or rain or something like that, they can be a big, big help. So you're gonna get that. So that kind of can double as like emergency clothes, but also emergency shelters as well. Now, two other things that I wanted to quickly mention, actually four, but some are related here, is I'm gonna throw in the Ziploc bag, and this water bag kind of serves the purpose that I would like, but this is representing if you have a dry bag, if you have a bunch of big Ziploc bags. You saw the water issues, right? There's no benefit of having like a spare t-shirt or socks or something like that in your bag, or food, or a box of goldfish or something if they're just gonna get soaked. A big plastic Ziploc type of bag, or a dry bag, like a rafting bag or a kayaking bag, is going to be great, because keeping stuff dry, especially if you're having to slosh through water, or you're under heavy rain like a hurricane or something like that, keeping things dry is super important. And so just a simple bag like this could make or break you. So all right, now the other thing I want to throw out here is, which way should I go? I'm going to say tools. Listen here. This is what I'm going to throw out there, is that you probably can't have enough tools, right? The thing that I would hate is for you to be on the wrong side of a padlocked fence from bottled water or food or rescue or something like that. So yeah, having small bolt cutters or heavier tools might be great, but if it's just a matter of breaking glass to get someone out of a sinking car, or a distressed car, or a car that's being swept down river or something like that, or cutting a seatbelt off someone, or cutting someone out of a tree or whatever, or trying to address first aid by cutting off clothes, you're gonna have to go pretty far downstream, but at least having a knife will address some of those situations. So what I have here is, this one is a switch edge stealth camo knife, spring assisted stone wash blade. I think I reviewed this. It's a pretty decent little knife here, and I don't know, a 3.5 inch, 4 inch blade, and spring assisted here, does lock, and I think it has kind of a, I don't know, it's like a polymer type of grip, but camo. So you do want some sort of tool. It is also good for protection. I mean, if you're, let's say that you're not gonna have to worry about people, but protection around animals, or whatever it might be. I mean, you could lash it to a stick and hunt for lizards or something if you needed to. But it's just good to have some sort of tools. The more tools, the better. But like I said, we're talking about kind of scraping the bottom here and doing the bare minimum. Second to last thing I want to mention here is light, right? If you're sitting on a roof or something and it starts to get dark, you want to see what you're doing, signaling, whatever it might be, you're going to want some light. Now, I also will say conserving light, and I'm going to kind of pair this with conserving your power as well. So if you have a smartphone or something like that, and there's a few of you, have everyone except one person turn off their smartphone, right? You may have 20 hours of battery time on it, but if you have 4 people with 4 smartphones and you turn them off and you only keep one running, now you've got 80 consecutive hours. Or you could use them all up at the same day, right? And especially when cell towers go down and you're searching for signals, cell phone batteries don't last very long, so conserve, be smart about how you're using power. Particularly, don't use 5 flashlights at night to light up your whole campsite if you just are sitting around, right? Just use one. Give yourself time to budget and ration that energy so that hopefully you'll get rescued before it runs out, but at least you have it, right? Having one flashlight on is better than having 4 flashlights that don't work, right? So here, this is what I'm going to throw in here is my atomic beam. This is, I bought this one. You've seen the infomercials for this. It's a good little flashlight, a little overpriced from Atomic Beam, I think, but it does the job here, and I think, it's on the SOS signal right there. LED, I think it's a Cree, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but pretty robust and durable, puts out good light, and nice and small and compact. All right, so the last thing I want to say here is that kind of from a bare minimalist, bug out bag is first aid. And so I want to hook up this giveaway with a small first aid kit, just kind of the bare necessities, bandages, Q-tips, scissors, tweezers, some gauze, tape, alcohol pads, even a little face mask for SARS. So just being able to treat kind of the small things, because what you don't want is the small things to become big things, right? So again, all of this will fit in a backpack, right? And that's where you don't have to go overboard and just kind of be crazy about it. You don't have to be a prepper, but just having a little preparation is better than none. And just being a little prepared could make the difference between being able to wait it out a few days or to have to be rescued immediately, right? And I just hate for people to have to count on someone else, especially when the reality is probably everyone else is counting on someone else too. So don't be that guy. Listen, I'm going to give all of this away here. I'm going to give it away as a package so that someone will have a little bit of prep and equipment. And we're going to give this sucker away on, how about the last day of the month, September 30th. It's a Saturday. I think that's, 30 days past September. We'll give it away on the 30th. And so all you have to do to enter the giveaway is once this video posts to YouTube, I will put a link to the Facebook post on it. All you have to do is like the Facebook post with this video. So if you're on here live, it's not going to be live quite yet, but it'll be up tonight. And then I will put a link to the Facebook post. Just follow the link to Facebook, like it. I will choose from all the likes. A couple of disclaimers. You have to be in the United States or Canada to be eligible for the giveaway. And but if you live outside the US, and I can send it to you legally, and if you're willing to cover shipping, we can work that out. But Canada and the US only. And so we'll pick on the 30th someone to give this away to. And hopefully everyone in kind of the danger zone right now is going to be okay. If you're in an area of the path of the hurricane, please get out. Hopefully you guys are prepped, but hopefully this will help someone else kind of be on the road to self-sufficiency when bad news comes. That's it. Guys, I appreciate it. Wanted to go live with this, and stay tuned for more stuff. Peter Von Panda, out!